With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin. Hurricane Irene is drawing closer to the region, with the latest forecast calling for rain and wind to begin picking up Sunday morning here on Cape Cod. Being prepared for a storm is key. On Barnstable this morning, we spoke with several local experts and got some valuable information for you as we prepare for Irene. First, we spoke with Assistant Recreation Director Patty Machado. She warned us about the dangers of riptides. Then Bob Thompson, meteorologist in charge at the National Weather Service in Taunton, gave us a glimpse of Irene's current track. Then Assistant Harbor Master Joe Gibbs offered some tips for voters. Finally, Barnstable Chief of Police Paul McDonald shared what the town is doing to prepare for Irene. We'll take a look at their comments right now.
Okay. I really do need to talk about riptides.
Sure.
That tends to happen when the weather gets like this, and people need to just know if you get caught in a current in any way, shape, or form, not to panic. Just kind of swim along with the current and swim diagonally out of it. But just swim along with the current and swim diagonally. And especially when the tides are coming and going in very fast, don't go swimming someplace that looks a little bit, the current is too strong. It just puts you at risk.
It really does, and those rip currents can kind of take you by surprise, and they really can drag you out there. So
well, that's where the major drownings happen here on Cape Cod. So it is real important that they be very careful and not panic.
Now, are there beaches, Patty, here in Barnstable that are more susceptible to a rip current than others?
Sandy Neck is actually can have rip currents more so than the inside beaches. Fortunately, are protected, by the islands and things. But
right.
With the weather being the way it is, it could happen anywhere.
I've got Bob Thompson. He's the meteorologist in charge of the National, the National Weather Service in Taunton. Bob, good morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. So in terms of the impact here on Cape Cod, can we predict at all anything we might feel here in this region?
Yes, we're really quite confident there's going to be strong winds over the Cape. Even if Irene were to weaken to a tropical storm, the wind still will be quite strong enough to cause a lot of tree damage and a lot of power line damage. That's because it's a large storm and the wind field extends well east of the center. At this time, we think there's a strong risk of hurricane force winds right along the coastline. And even a little bit inland into southeastern Massachusetts, we're likely to see at least tropical storm force winds with hurricane force gusts.
Right. I know we're looking at a new moon, which is going to bring in astronomical high tide, which raises the water level anyways. But of course, with the storm, we are looking at storm surge. So I'm guessing that's something that we should be aware of as well.
Yeah, definitely should be aware of it. And it's difficult to predict just how serious it will be because it so much depends upon the timing of the storm and the high tide. But if we get our strongest onshore winds within a few hours of high tide, then we could be dealing with very serious coastal flooding, especially in the upper part of Buzzards Bay and also along other portions of the south side of the Cape and the islands.
So, Bob, one more time, if you can just remind our viewers when we may be able to, or when we might start to see the effects of Irene here on Cape Cod.
Yeah, and Sarah, that's actually a very important question because we don't want folks concentrating on the eye and when that will make landfall. Really what's important is when the leading edge of the tropical storm force squalls will reach our area. And right now it looks like they could reach the Cape just a little bit after daybreak on Sunday if the storm accelerates. It could be a little bit before daybreak, slows down. That could be a little later, but be prepared for soon after daybreak for those first squalls to be coming onshore. And that's really the time that all preparation should be complete. And if anyone is trying to travel anywhere ahead of the storm, that travel should be complete by that time.
And I think that the number one thing is once your boat is secured, if you are leaving it in the water, is to get off your boat.
Right.
Don't stay on your boat. During the height of the storm. Unfortunately, we're not going to be coming in during a hurricane to get you off your boat. So. People need to batten down the hatches, so to speak, and then get off the boat and be safe. With that, the boat ramps, I would say the boat ramps are going to be very hectic, both with the commercial haulers and the recreational folks. I just ask everybody to take a deep breath before they even pull into the boat ramp. Everybody's a little excited, and everybody has the same goal. which is to get your boat out for people to be safe. So we want everybody to be safe at the boat ramps too.
Now, what about, I know that a lot of the town landings, there are dinghies and little boats that people leave lined up there on the beach so they can access their moored boats. So what would you recommend people do about that? Because I can see in the high winds those getting blown everywhere, and you really don't want to lose your dinghy, and you certainly don't want to cause any damage as well.
No, definitely you want to, if you can remove your dinghy, to remove your dinghy. I mean, one thing is if we do have stuff that comes ashore, the potential for the dinghy being damaged there is that. If it can't be removed, then it needs to be secured. It needs to be chained down, tied down, so it doesn't go anywhere. I mean, this is an extreme case, but unfortunately, like in the summer, we'll have a dinghy that goes loose, and we may find it drifting offshore. We don't know if there was a person in it,
right?
If it's just found out, floating. So the dinghies they should be removed, but if not, at the minimum, they need to be secured so they do not go anywhere.
So you are the emergency coordinator for us here in the town of Barnstable, and as we gear up for Irene, what's going on around town?
We are getting ready. There's a meeting, there's a conference call at 12:30 this morning with the Barnstable County Regional Emergency Planning Committee. At that time, a decision will be made whether or not the regional shelters will be opened. There are 6 regional shelters on Cape Cod: Sandwich, Mashpee, Barnstable, DY, Howard Tech, and Nauset Regional. Barnstable High School is our local emergency shelter. Right now, there is tentative plans that the Red Cross will staff the facility on Saturday starting at noontime, and if the decision is made, the shelter will open up tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Yesterday, we met with all department heads and the fire chiefs. DPW will pre-deploy certain equipment throughout the town in all 7 villages to make sure we can clear any roads so the fire apparatus or emergency vehicles will be able to respond. Extra crews, tree crews, will be brought in to help clear the roads, make sure we get the power back up as soon as possible. There is an incident management team being set up at the county dispatch area where we will have representatives from NSTAR and National Grid, so if we do have power outages or gas leaks, we'll be able to contact them immediately. And extra personnel is being brought in by the police department, DPW, and the fire departments.
Now, tell me, let's go back to talk about the shelter a little bit. What kind of amenities are provided for people at the shelter? What do they need to know?
If you come, you should plan on staying for at least 48 hours. Bring extra clothing. We will provide cots. They will provide food. The food will be ordered again this afternoon if that decision is made. Any type of medication, make sure you bring your medication with you. This particular shelter, we are not bringing in animals. The animals will be accepted at the Howard Tech, DY, and the Sandwich High School.
Great, and that was actually going to be my next question. So animals not allowed at Barnstable, but DY, Cape Tech, and Sandwich, you said?
Correct. We do not have the facilities at Barnstable. There have been facilities made available to Howard, DY, and Sandwich, so they're both next door to us, literally.
Right, and I know before previous storms, NSTAR has brought in some extra trucks and kind of parked them around the region. Is that the case this time as well?
Yes, the point for NSTAR, all their trucks will be deployed. They're going to be mustered up to the rear of the Cape Cod Mall on the Route 28 side.
Chief, tell me a little bit about what residents can do to prepare themselves to be safe during the storm.
Well, the most important thing is everybody, every home and every business should have a stocked basic emergency supply kit that could be used for any emergency, regardless of the time of year, not just during hurricane season, even during the winter. We always need this. Each kit will be unique to each family, but they should include the essentials, such as a portable radio, flashlight, extra batteries, a supply of non-perishable foods, along with bottled waters, a first aid kit, extra prescription medication, and also you should have some extra cash available in case you lose power for extended period of times. The ATMs are not going to be accessible. Then all families, they should develop a family emergency communication plan in case you're in different locations. Somebody might be stuck at work, somebody might be home. You should have some type of plan to communicate with the others so you know that everyone is safe.
As always, make sure to have supplies on hand, water, batteries, flashlights, and keep an eye on the forecast. You can find a checklist of items at the Cape and Islands Red Cross website. You can also find information on our website at town.barnstable.ma.us. I'm Sarah Colvin with Barnstable Today.